Chilling happenings in northern Nigeria again. We're used to having conversations about, bandits and kidnappers and insurgents attacking civilians. Unfortunately, in this story, you would find out how the Nigerian army did horrific things to civilians, begging several questions. Now, in Yola, Adamawa State, some women, about 7 of them, were killed, unfortunately, and others have been rushed to the hospital because they were protesting. Let's look at the stories. I have Malam Okafo in the house this morning.
Thank you.
And I also have Mr. Philip in the house today. I could feel your gaze, like you were going to just hit me up with your eyes as soon as I almost said that. Now, the thing that is going on in Yola is quite sad, and is calling. The first question I have is, why is the military being called to deal with a protest by civilians to begin with?
It's just I think the architecture of our security, begs for question. Just like you have said, the women were protesting the late arrival of security forces, to attending to the banditry that just occurred. Of course, it's within their rights to do so. It was like, the banditry has just happened and it went successfully. We didn't see you. It is after it has happened that we are now
seeing you. And they were pained, rightly pained.
Yeah, they were rightly pained because people lost their life, and people protesting that people lost their life ended up losing their own life. That is not the kind of story we want to hear. Even during the war, women and children are spared.
You see, this is...
So, hiding under the cover that, this could be a shade for the terrorists is not admissible, because certainly you didn't see any other person behind them, and they were obviously not attacking you. So the least you could do is to find your way out. Yes, you can't say that a brigade commander will fall under mass action or mob action of the people, and as a result of that, you bring out your gun to shoot women. To shoot women down, and you are okay with it. Truth remains that somebody was making fun of this on internet. He said, you will be surprised to find out that man or men that shot these women down has never killed anyone bandit in their life.
Well, we'll not even be surprised by that. Unfortunately, we will not be surprised by that.
I think there should be coordination of intelligence, both before attack, during attack, and after attack. When the attack is gone, it is police that should have been used to interface with the civilians, so that they can get their grievances and know what happened. Military forces should be deployed when they are ready to fire, because that is what their training is for. An army officer is trained to fight an enemy head-on, not to interact with civilians who are demonstrating their grievances and things like that. It's not within the army's training to handle. So I think it's the coordination. This calls for a bigger question, where people kept asking whether Ribadu, as the national security advisor that coordinates most of these things. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, national security advisor is not just an advisor. It's actually coordinator of all these security.
Which shouldn't be, because he's supposed to be number 4. After the president first, who is the CNC, then we have the Minister of Defense, then we have the, what do they call it, Chief of Army Staff. Chief of all that, the chiefs. Yes, the chief of all the chiefs. And no, that's actually the president, but you get who I'm talking about. And then after him, we have the advisor on security. And it's unfortunate that we are not even following that. But let me come to you, Philip. This is not the first time that women are protesting the killing of their children, the killing of their husbands. It's quite common that when a community is hurting, the women go to the fore and they cry. We've had women strip naked in Kaduna. We've had them do it in Aba. And they come out and they say, hey, you're killing our children. We're burying our husbands. We're sick of it. Stop it. At what point do we then start to kill these women? Literally to shoot them down. What does this say about the value of the life of not just Nigerians, but Nigerian women, Nigerian mothers.
Yes, you see, it's a very sad day and a sad story to hear, that our women are being gunned down by our own military men that pay with our hard-earned money in tax money. So, but the issue here is we need to understand what transpired in Adamawa State. Maybe, just maybe, we're not getting the clear information on what happened in Adamawa. The truth remains that there were an attack somewhere in Adamawa State in a community by bandits and terrorists, and they did a lot of havoc in that community. Apparently, after they had left, the women were protesting. It is not very clear, let's get it right, whether the military who were escorting a brigade commandant were actually going to face the attacker, or they were on a different mission. We don't have that clear signal.
Yeah, but so, how do we have 5 women dead and several critical?
I'm coming. Until we establish that, we cannot say wholeheartedly what has happened. But the truth remains that whether they were on a separate mission or they were going there to see that the attacker had been dealt with, or they arrived late because as the time they arrived, the attacker has attacked and left, is immaterial. That the military men opened fire on innocent women.
Because we do not.
That is not acceptable. But in as much as that is not acceptable, we must establish the fact whether this, you see, this happened. We just lost a brigadier general, and this is a brigade commander being escorted by other soldiers. They may feel that this is another house. So we don't know the truth. That is why an investigation.
I'm sorry, Philip. I would let you get there. Yeah?
Let me tell you.
I'll
you don't
let
project
you get there.
your fear and failure on the security failure leading to the death of Brigadier General Musa Oba on innocent women.
These are women.
And open fire on women. There is nothing that you are going to hide under. Your inability to understand that these are women is also a failure of intelligence on your part. The people should not bear it. Let me tell you, you can't just before you deploy. Let me tell you, General Musa said something. That's the current defense minister. He said any army that is deployed has already the command on what to do. Meaning that there is intelligence ahead.
Yes.
These women are certainly not the target.
Yes.
So there's no way let me tell you, we are known to exercise of the armed forces in as much as we sympathize with the situation surrounding the death of Brigadier General Musa. Uba Musa, yes. We sympathize with that. But that notwithstanding, we are very, very, conversant with the exercise of our military forces. Go to checkpoint. You see what they do. See how they subject people to long jump and all that. Those people you are subjecting to frog jump and all that, are they Can I tell you something? The ammunition we buy for the military is for them to fight enemy, not to subject us to a lower life.
The point I am making is this. In as much as we, do not accept the action of the military men, we must, as a matter of fact, also bear in mind that this army, these military men, they were not going for the women.
Certainly.
So if they were not going for the women, this is why I advocate for a thorough investigation, and those who those who are culpable should be brought to book.
I'm sorry, Philip, we've seen situations where...
Yes, because this is it's different from what we all will be hearing. Killing innocent women is very appalling. It's not acceptable. But again, what is the circumstance? What is the situation that led to it? We must put it in consideration.
Okay, so you see, when you say what is the circumstance,
one of the portion of the story
so that we understand
one of the portion of the story says that they were escorting a brigade commandant.
How does that end up with women dead? You see, this is where I'm having a problem with your submission. How does that? Can I get my question across, please?
Yes.
Thank you. How does you escorting a brigadier general or whoever
a brigade commandant? Don't say his rank.
Sorry, a brigade commandant.
Yes.
How does your escort of a brigade commandant and have 7 women wound up dead and several others in critical condition. There is no evidence of these women being armed. We know that some of these insurgents use women, right, for stuff.
For cheats, human
but
cheats.
We also know that when you see women and children, you let your guard down to a level, to an extent. How do we get to a place where you are cocking your rifle and you are firing? You're opening fire on it. I don't see, and I've been trying to see it. I don't see a narrative. I don't see how that happens. We've seen this pattern before. A shooting happens, denial follows, then there's silence. And the silence, it's been 24 hours. There's no army spokesperson saying
Chinwe, can I say something?
No one is answering any questions.
Can I say something? It's still more honorable. As bad as it sounds, and as terrible as it sounds, it's still more honorable than the general in the army. It's still more honorable than the lieutenant general in the army. It's still more honorable than the major general in the army. It's still more honorable than the brigadier general in the army die under gun than for a woman to die. Because these are the people that signed to die for us. These are the people that signed in defense of these people. You don't turn these women who has now died in defense of Nigeria. It's these women instead of those who were trained and signed to die for this nation. So why do you now make the women the first to go? Let me tell you, what is the intelligence behind these terrorists. Let's just assume it's the case, which is not the case anyway. We don't have the evidence.
We don't have the evidence.
What now is the intelligence behind these terrorists using women as a shield? Because they know that when you see the women, you let your guard down. You now saw the women, you didn't let your guard down, and there's no evidence that there's a terrorist behind them. They are actually protesting that the terrorists had come and you were not nowhere to be found,
and they left
and
with
you
people.
shoot 1, 2, 3, how?
7.
Because officers use precision weapon. They don't use pump action. They use precision weapons. Precision weapon is what they use. So for you to kill 9 persons, you should understand what it means.
7 people.
There's nothing, no defense behind shooting down 7 women.
Well,
it is rather honorable that the army officer died.
Themselves
then
died.
no matter how you look at it.
Yes.
Because that is what they are saying.
I do agree with that. I hate to sound like I'm going to gag you, but you have a minute.
See, in as much as we sympathize with what happened in Adamawa,
in as much as it's ruining your sympathy, it's ruining you're not
there's
sympathetic.
always a casualty. You know when there's the collateral damage. This is one of those
collateral 7 women.
Yes, it has
7
happened.
women, not 7 people.
Yes,
sir, not 7 people, not
women
7 locals fighting.
Yes,
7 women.
Yes,
in the strategy of war.
Damage.
Once there is
it's what the Nigerian nation has suffered.
We should not have that.
Suffered it.
We shouldn't
have it. It is an error on the part of the military side, especially in their intelligence gathering. It's not in as much as I agree with Madam Okafor that yes, there's something wrong with the architecture of intelligent gathering. Yes, it has happened. Yes, they had to go back to the drawing board to see how they can fix it. But what has happened is a collateral damage, not short of that. The military did not set out to go and kill the women. It just happened.
Well, I have an adage in my place.
It has to be like 30 seconds.
If you laugh, choke person, that guy go enter.
Yes, of course, irrespective of the intention. Irrespective of the intention, we have 7 dead women, 5 critically ill at Numan General Hospital as we speak. This happened in Lamurde in Adamawa state of Nigeria, and it happened with the unit, the escort of the brigade commander, 23 Brigade Yola, because they were protesting the late arrival of troops. Tomorrow is Human Rights Day. I don't know if at this point Nigeria even deserves to sit down and reflect, or even to honor that day, because what rights do human beings really have in this country? It's a question that you should sit on. What is the cost of the life of an average Nigerian living in Nigeria today? Have a very beautiful day. Continue the conversations in the comments.